Hello, how are you doing, Mr. Charles Traynor?
Well, if I was any better, I'd be you here on the Lee Gersten show.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that's an old school greeting from the co-host on the couch here. And I know what we're gonna do some push, but not
Yep.
Cinderella.
Yeah. Thank you for not doing Cinderella.
Oh damn it!
Well, I mean,
Lost
at least
my
not
chance.
today. I'll
Yeah,
I'll
no,
be happy to do it another day, but not now.
right. But this was an artist I picked, but for some really silly reasons. But you can announce the artist, I guess.
Yeah. Herbie Mann, push push.
Now this is a jazz guy.
Yeah.
Kinda, or yes.
Yeah, he's considered to be jazz. He's also done other things too. Not necessarily always well, but he's dabbled in a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know his main instrument is the flute. And you know how I can be about a flute.
So it was pretty brave of you to pick it.
It is, but I have a very interesting reason why I picked this record. And we were supposed to do this a little while ago, but like we forgot or something like that. And the guy that took the photo of this album cover, which this album cover is
interesting.
Strange. Yeah, very strange.
Interesting to some people, repulsive to others.
Yeah, but the guy that took it has taken a bunch of famous album covers. Doors.
Yeah.
Some Kiss. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but
yeah. So
I saw this guy's name, and so I looked at it and I seen the album cover and was like, "Whoa, that's very, very odd."
Yeah.
Half naked, not very good looking man.
Yeah.
Holding a flute.
Yeah.
And
all the things that would turn you off.
Yeah, I see he was a jazz guy though. So I was like, maybe. I mean, I'm like 0 for 1 so far. I'm just picking it off an album cover. I forget who that other guy was that had the lady on the couch smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that I forget, but I know who you mean.
It was really bad. So I'm 0 for 1.
Yeah.
I'm just picking it because of an album cover. But I picked this because of the album cover.
Yeah.
And it's jazz. So I thought, well, maybe he knows of Herbie Mann and he'd be interested in doing it. So here we are.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. Do you want to start first or want me to start first?
You can start first.
Okay. The first song is Push Push. Okay. This was the song that got me into jazz rock specifically when I first heard it on a Duane Allman anthology. I really dig it a lot, and it showed me that rock didn't have to be regular stuff, but it could also be cool and have some jamming and things. Another thing that I will say is, when I was listening to this again for the review that we were going to do, I had started listening to it after listening to another album which we reviewed, and my hearing must have been completely off because I absolutely loved this song growing up, and I had a lot of negative things I was going to say about it, and I went, wait, let me sleep, and the bad taste of the other album will come out of my mouth, and then I'll listen to it again in the morning. So when I listened to it again in the morning, I was like, thank goodness my taste didn't screw up permanently, because it is a good song. Okay, what do you think?
Well, now right off the bat, this is flute-rific, of course, but in this case, it absolutely works. This one's got a real groove to it, and like you mentioned, Duane Allman, he's on this album, the whole album on guitar. And,
yeah.
This is the type of jazz I can get. It's got
Yeah.
It's got an R&B feel to it, and that makes it way, way, way my thing. Allman's guitar work is fabulous. So terrible album cover aside, so far we're starting off with a smoking track. This is some grade A. Grade here is my final vote, and I'm hopefully it continues this trend on this album, as this song is a great breath of fresh air. I needed to hear something like this.
Right on. Okay, what do you think of What's Going On?
That's a cover of the Marvin Gaye classic here, with Herbie's flute mimicking the Marvin's vocals. The electric piano on it's fabulous. Laid down by a gentleman named Richard T. I don't know if you know of Richard T. Lee?
Yeah, he's on a bunch of different albums that we might review soon.
Is it as good as the Gaye original? Not quite to my ears, but Herbie and the boys do an admirable job on the cover. Very lush and pretty, so it's a solid cover that is also a winner. Even though I still say it's a hair under the Gaye original, but it is well played here.
Yeah, I put this is a decent cover, but it's not essential. And I'm not the biggest fan of this song in its original version either. It's fine, and I don't mind it, but this is about as good as Marvin Gaye's. And I don't mind hearing it, but it's not one of the jump out at me tracks. Okay, now for Spirit in the Dark. I like how this builds up, and it's one of the few songs Aretha Franklin wrote. I think it's very cool, and it's a highlight here. What do you think?
It's an Aretha Franklin cover, and I can honestly say I haven't heard the original, or it doesn't strike a bell for me. So basically, it's an original to my ears. The interplay between the guitar, flute, and electric piano is very interesting. The guitar stands out. I'm not sure if it's Allman or David Espinoza, as both are credited. I'm going to assume it's Allman, though, as it just has a great blues tone going on. This one is cooler than the cool side of the pillow. Another winner here. This could be some of the best jazz fusion I've heard ever. Not that I've heard a ton. And it pains me to give the flute so much love, but it is wonderful thus far and fits with this style way more than rock. Plus, he shows off his skills quite a bit. The solo from Mann is rather badass on the track.
Yeah, I will say this, though, is somewhat rock. It's not pure jazz. Anyway, now for, or at least to me, the next song, what do you think of Man's Hope?
Well, in essence, it's a cover, as it's based off the Israeli national anthem. I can't say I'm familiar with that, but this one starts out very methodically, has a slightly moody vibe at first, but then the piano kicks in, and we get some goodness again. Has a great little R&B groove. This group he assembled is locked in all the way thus far on every track, and this one is no different. Mann is great on it, but the piano is what really held my attention throughout it. Another great Allman solo. Another choice tune here. This is one of those albums thus far in the "Where Have You Been All My Life" category.
Yeah. This is based on a Jewish tune, so that's why there's two chords instead of only one, which is generally how Herbie Mann writes songs, because just like the title track Push Push, he tends to pick a chord and then tells it to stay there throughout the whole tune. But because it has no more than two chords, that indicates he took it and arranged it to be like his own. And it's one of the best songs on the album. I really dig it. All right. Now, the next song is If. Okay. I never liked this song, and I was annoyed at how it had to be on here. But surprisingly, it's played less pathetically than it could have been. So even though it's not one I'll run to when I hear stuff from this album, I can stomach it, which is an accomplishment. What do you think?
A bread cover
Yeah.
Check the archives, folks. I really didn't like what I heard from Bread.
Yeah.
But let's see how this goes. Well, I'll be damned. I suppose you can polish a turd. And that is hard work coming from Bread Tunes.
Yeah.
Way mellow and chill. I hear a bit more of a jazz feel on this one. Perhaps the original one was as well. I don't really know it. And I'll never know it because I don't care much for Bread at all.
I applaud you for that.
Yeah.
My dad used to sing it a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
But this cover's decent, but to be honest, this is the one I've dug the least thus far. But probably because of the song itself, not from the playing, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. What do you think of Never Can Say Goodbye?
The Jackson 5 cover. I mean, come on, dude. He's hitting on all the right stuff other than Bread for me.
Yeah.
I suppose, but I do suppose that would be one complaint if I put on a little critic hat here. Could have used a little more original material, but whichever. A minor complaint. The flute mimics the vocals again. Seems to be old Herbie's MO most of the album. The chime effects throughout are great. I love the song in general, so of course this yet again is another solid cover. I'm pretty much overly convinced this album really isn't going to have a truly bad tune, and thus far this one is no different. Just a cool song to chill out, unwind, and just enjoy life. This album has been great thus far, and no exception with this track here.
Right on. I like this better than the version I heard when Gloria Gaynor did it, even though at that time, her version is what got me to buy her album. I don't think it's the very best track on here, but it's one of the better ones, and I don't mind it at all. Okay, now for the last one, What I Say. I never heard a bad version of this song, and this version is also quite good. Rare Earth's version is the best cover of it, but it's a good album closer, and I dig the groove on it. What do you think?
Well, like so, we closed it out with a cover of this Ray Charles standard. It's pretty good, but it's a bit more mellow, just a hair from the Ray version. So I guess that's a negative, but this is far from terrible. Allman steps back in with a killer solo again. And that was a shame. And he left us way too soon on this planet. It seemed like we were just scratching the surface with him. I tried to be a little critical, and perhaps it was a bit too mellow compared to the source. But I enjoyed this one too. And I also listened to the bonus track Funky Nassau.
I didn't.
And it rules as well. So this is
I can assume it does.
And I'll be definitely checking out more of the Herbmeister.
Okay.
I'm glad I picked it for its goofy album cover. Happy Accidents like this are nice. I don't know if the rest of his stuff is as good though.
He's got about maybe 100 or so albums, so chances are you'll like at least one more. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
well, I like this one.
I like at least about 10 of them. Anyway, okay, thank you, Charles, for picking it. It's
no problem.
It's a really cool album. I would have wanted to do one of his. If I had not picked this one, it would have only been because I would have had maybe at least about 10 different options to choose from, and this would have been one of them, but I don't know which one I would have picked. But there's another one that I like. You might not like it as much, or you might like it as much. I don't know, but it's possible we'll do that one too in the future. Okay?
All right.
All right. Well,
sounds good.
Take care, everybody, and thank you. Bye-bye.